Welcome Wizards and Warriors to NOG Talk, the Robot Uprising update. My personal favorite update I've ever made. We got a lot in store. We have some balance changes to go through. A lot of skins, which are very, very good. One of them being an insane skin for Adrenaline. You don't want to miss that. And lastly, we have 15 new cards. And if that wasn't enough, at the end of today, I will show you ZIPPY'S ability, where he becomes the best card in the game. That is something you're not going to want to miss. So let's get to it. For balance changes, Cauldron, now you can play free spell every turn. Bullseye, place on any card, and the next damage team will all go to that card. Zeus, now 10 HP. Hydra, 8 HP, and you gain 2 damage every time it does its ability. Betsy's damage has gone up to 3, but all flame damage now decreases by 2 every hit. Poison Scope ignores defense, and poison damage has been upgraded, so it will deal the half damage for the start of your next 2 turns. So it's 2 waves of poison instead of 1. Frosty Snowman now freezes at the end of its first turn instead of on placement, and if Frosty ever dies, then everyone will immediately unfreeze. Battle Beaver has gone down to 2 damage with 10 defense minus its current damage, and all of the damage you block then gets added to attack. Compound F will now half your HP, and at the end of the 2 turns, double your HP, putting it back to normal. Cupid getting a full rework, 7 HP, 1 damage. You hit 2 cards, and they will then hit each other. You can hit your teammate and an opposing card. It will deal however much damage you deal, so 1 damage, and then they will attack each other. And on the topic of old cards, Anthony Gustavo II is being removed from NOG permanently. Don't worry, he'll be safe. He's just gonna walk home, and nothing is gonna happen to him. He'll be A-OK. Now, onto the new skins. We're gonna start with the non-robot skins. Instead of Blackjack, you can have Redjack. And instead of Flame Soul, you can have Blue Flame. And with those out of the way, we can get to the robots. Starting off, Goblin Grappler. Instead, you can have the Grappler. Instead of Robin Hood, you can have Echo Hood. Instead of the Ice Witch, you can have the Cryogenic Controller. Instead of Lancelot, you can have Mechalot. Instead of Frosty the Snowman, you can have Frosty the Cyberman. And now, we get to the really good skins. Instead of Asclepius, you can have the Inventor. Instead of the Goblin Infirmary, you can have the Scrapper. Instead of the Snake Goblin, you can have the Steampunk Snake Goblin. Instead of Betsy, you can have Lockjaw. Instead of the Chameleon, you can have the Clockwork Chameleon. And the really out there one, instead of the Minotaur, you can have the Renaissance Minotaur. Lastly, the skin for Adrenaline. The skin's so good, you have to play it sideways. It is, of course, Overclock. With so much detail, I don't even know how I drew this. And that is all of the skins. Personally, I love Overclock and the Clockwork Chameleon. Tell me which one of these skins you think is your favorite in the comments below. Now, onto the new cards. Starting off the new cards, we have Pinpoint. 10 HP, 4 damage with his Gum Gun. After hitting a card, you can hit a different card with half damage as many times as long as the damage is at least 1. Next, we have my boy, Beetlebot. 5 HP, 3 damage with his Beetle Bite. You can use a move to burrow, putting this card into your hand, and every move you do while it is burrowed, this card will gain 1 HP, but you cannot burrow on the turn you place him. Of course, you use a move and that will put him into your hand. While he's in your hand, you can't pick up cards because he will count as one of your 4 cards. However, while he's in your hand, if anyone plays Mystic Eye or Watchtower, it will immediately unburrow him because they have revealed the card. And also, it is however many moves you do while he's in your hand. Skipping a turn, he will not gain 1 HP, but if you have something like Wishes that gives you more moves, he will be gaining more HP. Then we have his mother, Bakery Bot, 10 HP, and each time you attack, it does the next digit in the sequence of pi. So, first time you attack will be 3 damage, second time, 1, 4, 1, 5, 9, 2, 6, 5, 3, and here I've written down a lot of pi. Then we have Beetlebot's sister, Battery Bot. 15 HP, 5 damage with a battery beatdown. But every time this card attacks, and at the end of its turns, it will guarantee lose 2 HP, even if you have something like a fog machine where you dodge damage, and that is every time you attack, even if it's a spell making you attack, you will guarantee lose 2 HP. However, with something like Zombie's Bite, that guarantee lose 2 HP will come and guarantee gain 2 HP. Seeping through the code, we have the Glitched Coin, a 3 lifespan spell. When you place it on any card, you get advantage on all of your RNG elements, and your opponents will all have disadvantage. Advantage means that you would do it twice and take the better outcome. For instance, rolling a dice, I got a 3, I roll a second time, and I got a 1, I would take the better outcome. My opponents have disadvantage, so they would do it twice and take the worst outcome. My slot machine has 3 coin flips, and all 3 of those coin flips would have advantage. Phasing through the pixels on the screen, Static, 10 HP, 2 damage, the Broadcast. After being hit, you roll a d20 and add the damage being dealt to you. If the result is greater than 13, then you don't take damage. But every time you dodge, the value you need to beat increases by 1. So here, if the Swamp Slush does 1 damage to Static, I roll a 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 is less than 13, therefore I do take damage. However, Jack and Jill do 12 damage. They don't hit me. I roll a 3 plus a 12 is 15. That is greater than 13, therefore I dodge it. And then, because I dodged it, the number 13 goes up by 1. The more damage your opponent is dealing, the more likely you are to dodge it. Programming her own path, it is Deanary with 11 HP, 2 damage transmission. Deal damage equal to the damage of your last 2 attacks added together with a minimum of 1 damage. What this means is the first time you attack, it is 2 damage. Second time you attack, it is 2 damage. Then the third time you attack, it would be equal to the last 2 attacks. So it would be 2 plus 2, 4 damage. Then the next time you attack, it would be the 2 plus 4, 6 damage. Then it would be the 4 plus 6, 10 damage. If you ever increase the damage, that increased damage will only be for the next hit due to the fact that her hits will always carry over. So if you double her damage, it would only be that next hit would be doubled. Changing up the pace, we have Fast Forward, a permanent lifespan spell. You place it on any card, and any cooldowns on that card that do not say must wait will have -1 turn to it. Debuffs on that card will last 1 less turn. Spells with a lifespan greater than 1 will last 1 less turn. And every third attack will become every other attack. On Easter Island, it will heal your team 2 HP every turn instead of every other turn. However, it does not work on the Fountain of Youth, because the Fountain of Youth says you must wait 1 turn. Debuffs last less time, so if you get frozen, you would unfreeze at the end of the turn. They froze you instead of the end of the next turn. Spells have a decreased lifespan, so you could play an ambush and fast forward it to immediately activate that ambush. Or if they play Puppet Master on one of your cards, you could fast forward your card, meaning the Puppet Master would end sooner and you get your card back. Then, fast forwarding something that says every third attack is a guaranteed kill would mean every other attack is a guaranteed kill, following the same rules that the Big Bad Wolf does. Another scenario is that the Chameleon, instead of having to wait, you could play the Chameleon and immediately fast forwarding, meaning you wouldn't have to wait that 1 turn. You could immediately copy stuff. There's so many more possibilities with this card, but those are the ones I've covered. Starting off the steampunk cards, we have the Firewall, 6 HP land card. While in play, whenever opposing cards attack your team, they will take 3 flame damage back to themselves. Of course, 3 flame damage, they take that, and then the next turn, they will take 1 damage, because it's flame. If you ever increase the damage, the flame increases too. Control time, control everything with the Pocket Watch, a permanent lifespan spell. You place it on any card, damage to that card will be delayed by 1 turn. And you will only take the damage as long as the attacker is still in play. And the rest of the wizard will take 4 damage, but it will be delayed by 1 turn. It is then my turn. If I kill the Spider Gladiator, it is then that turn. This damage would have activated, but because the person that dealt the damage no longer exists, I don't take any damage at all. Of course, guaranteed hits will always hit. Shooting through the scene, we have the Steamed Sniper. She has 4 HP, 4 damage with the long shot. And you get a multiplier to your attack for every card across your target is from you. But after attacking, you must use a move to reload so you can attack again. Every card across, you get a multiplier. So this is times 1, times 2, times 3, times 4, and times 5 damage to whatever you have. So here, I could do 20 damage, 16, 12, 8, 4. Next up, you know the drill. 14 HP, 0 damage with its Extraction. You attack any card and attach to it. At the end of your turns, you deal damage to it, starting at your damage and increasing by 1 each time. Damage to you will also damage the card that you're on. It works similarly to the Goblin Grappler, except for the fact that its initial damage is what is written, so it'll be 0 damage and 0 when it first hits, and then it will ramp up damage. Once it goes off and it kills them, it does not gain damage. It is only while it is drilling a card that its damage will go up. At the head of the steampunk cards, it is the tallest card I've ever drawn. It is Steam Stitch. 14 HP, 14 damage with his Seamless Strike. But you have -1 damage for every card on your team, including spells, and also including himself. So he has 14 damage, -1 for himself, -1 for any teammates he has, -1 for any spells you put on yourself, and -1 for any spells your opponents play on your team. No matter the cards, if they are on your team, he has minus damage. He works better alone, and he doesn't understand all these new, complicated cards. Second to last new card is the Blueprint, a permanent lifespan spell. You place it on any card, and you can play cards from your hand into the Blueprint, taking either its HP, damage, or ability, and putting it into that card once per turn. But if you're adding an ability, you must wait 2 turns before upgrading again. So putting it on Blue Flame here, assuming these cards were in my hand, I could choose to add the Frozen Rex's HP to that, or I could add the Goblin Chef's damage to that, or I could choose to add the ability of the tub to this card. Everything added through the Blueprint is in the Blueprint, so if somebody was to use a magnet and take it, they would take all of the stuff in the Blueprint, and you would lose that extra damage, extra HP, and ability. And lastly, it's time to turn up the music with my personal favorite card, the update, DJ Robo Beats. 14 HP, 4 damage with Turn Up the Music. Its ability, if there is a card with a debuff, or that can inflict a debuff, then DJ Robo Beats is allowed to attack using that debuff. DJ Robo Beats himself is immune to all debuffs. This means if there was a cryogenic controller on any team who can freeze cards, DJ Robeats is allowed to mimic that ability and freeze any card he wants, as long as this is here. That also goes for if there was Medusa, freezes cards that hit her, which means DJ Robeats is allowed to freeze cards. That also goes for flames, that also goes for poison, and any spells that say that they are poisoning them. It also goes for special cases like Santa's Full Frost Freezing. DJ Robeats is allowed to hit a card and freeze them until they next get hit. This also goes for other debuffs, like the Pied Piper's Possession, the Welder's Welding, and the Bubonic Plague's Infection. As long as these are in play, DJ Robeats is allowed to mimic them and use this ability. And those are all the new cards. But now it's time for what you're all really here for. Zippy. it is time for me to show you Zippy's brand new upgrade. Something so strong, so unbelievably cool that no card will ever get this ability. So cool, in fact, that I've had to redraw him entirely. Let me introduce you to the new Zippy, powerful. I can't believe he's the only card what he is able to do. That's right, Zippy is getting the ability to upgrade himself, along with his twin brother, Zappy. First, we'll cover Zippy. Zippy, 6 HP, 3 damage, zip. Identical to his normal card, with the ability deal 6 damage to upgrade. And HP allies heal will also go to your upgrade. Each upgrade resets your HP and your damage. So what this means is if a teammate heals 1 HP, you can add 1 to this bar. Along with when you deal damage, you will fill up the bar. Then, what you can do is take him out, flipping him around, upgrading to Zippy 2.0. 8 HP, 3 damage with its zipping dash. When allies heal, gain 1 damage. And after a kill, you can heal any ally 1 HP. You need 8 damage to upgrade, and of course, HP allies heal goes towards your upgrade. Leading you to Zippy 3.0, the first unfolding card. That's right. And there are 2 more stages after this. Zippy 3.0, 10 HP. When you kill a card, you can heal any ally 2 HP, and when allies heal, you gain 1 damage. It's immune to frozen, and you have -1 coin flips if checking an attack hits. Has 4 damage with his yellow lightning, and when attacking, you deal 1 damage to the card either side of your target. You need 20 damage to upgrade to the next stage, and HP allies heals also goes towards your upgrade. So just to recap, we have Zippy stage 1, 6 damage to upgrade, 2.0, 8 damage to upgrade, unfolding to 3.0, 20 damage to upgrade. And after that, you can take out the next piece of paper, revealing Zippy 4.0. Look at him. He is huge, the size of 3 cards, and he is laminated, so you can use pen on him. Starting from the right, he is immune to frozens and poisons, and you have -2 coin flips when checking attack hits. You need 30 damage to upgrade, and HP allies heals also goes to upgrade. When you kill a card, you can heal any card half the damage dealt, or heal yourself if they are missing the HP. And when allies heal, you gain 1 damage and 0.5 defense only for the next hit. He is 12 HP in this stage, with 4 damage electrolyte slam. When you attack, you deal 2 damage to the cards either side of your target. It's a lot to take in, I know, but there's just one final stage. And of course is on the other side. These took a lot of work to do properly. In fact, this is the second time I've drawn this card. The final stage is, of course, Zippy 5.0. When you kill a card, you can heal any card the damage dealt, or heal yourself half of the damage dealt if you're missing HP. And when allies heal, you gain 2 damage, 1 defense for the next hit. And on the upgrade, you will heal all of your allies back to their original HP, but that healing won't count to adding defense or damage. All of your cards will be immune to all debuffs and damage over time, and this card has guaranteed hits, along with ignoring defense. He has 5 damage with Zippy's Overload Knuckles, and you deal half damage to the cards beside your target. Of course, 14 HP, and the first time an attack would have killed you, you go to 1 HP, and all of your allies will gain 3 HP. This is obviously a 1-use ability, and that includes guaranteed kills will activate that ability. That is Zippy. Look at him. Starting from his smallest stage, going to stage 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Of course, these all fold up and can fit inside of a sleeve. Now that I've shown you Zippy, it's time for his evil twin brother, Zappy. Zappy has identical stats, 6 HP, 3 damage with a zap. You need to deal 6 damage to upgrade, or you can kill a teammate to immediately go to your next upgrade. Zappy does not mind killing any of his teammates if it means benefiting himself, compared to Zippy, who enjoys his teammates and wants to help them. Of course, upgrading Zappy goes to his next form. Zappy 2.0, 8 HP, 3 damage with a zapping strike. You gain 1 damage per card you kill, and you need 8 damage to upgrade, or you can kill a teammate to immediately upgrade. On to Zappy 3.0, 10 HP. After killing a card, you gain 1 damage and 1 HP if you're missing it. Or if you kill an ally, you gain 3 damage to your attack. He has 4 damage with his Red Thunder, and when you hit a card, you can deal 2 damage to the one beside that, and 1 damage to the one beside that. They must be going in the same direction, so a 4-2-1 or a 4-2-1. You need 20 damage to upgrade, but damage to allies count as 1.5 times for the upgrade. So if you dealt 4 damage to an ally, it would count as 6 points for your upgrade. Of course, upgrading it turns it into Zappy 4.0, 12 HP, just like Zippy. Immune to frozen and poisons, has -2 coin flips, and you need 30 damage to upgrade, and damage to allies counts as times 1.5 for the upgrade. After killing a card, you gain 1 damage, 1 HP if you're missing it, and 0.5 defense for the next hit. Or you can kill an ally to gain 3 damage. That damage is going to his 4 damage uncontrollable beam. When attacking, you start at either edge, and you'll continue to hit cards with -1 damage until you kill a card, reach the other edge, or run out of damage. So you can hit 4, 3, 2, 1. Like I said, 30 damage to upgrade, but hitting an ally counts as 1.5 times. So you could have a teammate playing Kill Pill on Zappy, playing at 1 HP, 20 damage, killing Anthony Gustavo II, allowing Zappy to upgrade to his final form. Zappy 5.0, 14 HP, immune to all debuffs and damage over time, has guaranteed hits, ignores defense. When you kill an enemy, gain 1 damage, 1 HP if it's missing, and you gain 1 defense for the next hit. Or when you kill a teammate, you can gain 3 damage. Of course, just like Zippy, the first time an attack would have killed you, go to 1 HP, but this time, when you go to 1 HP, double your damage. Of course, it is a 1-use ability. And his attack is 4 damage, Zappy's final beam. When attacking, you hit any card, then continue hitting cards next to them, but with -1 damage. If you hit an edge, you can bounce off of it and continue hitting. The beam will end when you kill a card, or when you want it to, or when you run out of damage. The bounce works so you can hit a card, for instance here, and go across, and then bounce off of the wall here and go back to this card and continue hitting. That is how the bounce works. These cards are clearly insane, and they look as powerful as they are. Though during playtesting, I will say sometimes they don't get to upgrade to their final form. It does take a lot of effort to make them survive till that final form, although it is very rewarding. I've had so much fun designing these cards, drawing them, no matter the fact that it took so long to do so. And I hope you all enjoy them just as much as I do. And I want you guys to tell me in the comments who will win, Zippy or Zappy. And that is all for today's Nog Talk. The Robot Uprising, updating Zippy and adding Zappy. Thank you all.